Thank you, Daisy, and thank you everyone for being here today. Y'all, we just manifested some shit from inside prison walls, inside the mind of Miss Taina. um, we really, Rasan Thomas, everybody who put their hands on this thing, we really created a victory. And I know a lot of us are still trying to manifest with this election, with our loved ones coming home. So, with all of this energy that we have and this joy that we're tapping into, I wanted to do a quick manifestation meditation. Is that cool with y'all? Let's take some time to breathe and intentionally think about what we want and claim what we want as ours. So if you could just get comfortable wherever you're at and start to slow your breath. You're welcome to close your eyes or soften your gaze. All right. Now, come with me on a journey into your mind, the beautiful space of creation that you have available to you. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and letting yourself exhale fully, completely. Letting your body settle, release any tension or pain you might be experiencing. Lowering your shoulders, releasing your jaw, softening your stomach, relaxing your arms and legs, and letting your body melt into deep relaxation. Letting any weight of the day, any stress of the day just melt away. As you breathe in, you might notice the different thoughts that are running through your mind. Now, without letting yourself attach to any of these thoughts, just breathe in and observe what those thoughts might look like from a few steps away. Maybe they're building up in your head. Maybe there's a lot of things speeding through your mind. Whatever you notice, I want you to take a deep breath as you inhale and exhale. See if you can find an image of yourself releasing the thoughts that you observed, letting them float away around you with your next exhale. Notice how clear you might feel in this moment, how light, how open, full of opportunity, bringing in your next breath, embracing that feeling.
On innate justice.
Yes. Be here for a bit, present with this feeling and manifesting. From this space of openness, I want you to think about one thing that you desire right now. Maybe it's something for you, maybe it's something for your community. Perhaps it's a desire to feel healthy inside your body. Maybe it's loving and vibrant relationship, or a desire for freedom, for healing. Whatever it is, see this desire in your mind. This is a space where you begin to manifest. Notice the details of your desire. Let your senses help your desire become more defined, brilliant. As you breathe in, notice the colors, the scents, the sounds, the tastes, and textures. Take a moment to let your mind paint an even clearer picture, a more intense picture of your desire. Now breathing in and out. Take a moment to imagine what it would be like to have your desire right now. Let yourself become a part of this vision in your mind. Step into it. Let your body feel what it's like to have it. Maybe you feel the goosebumps of excitement on your skin, or a smile spread across your face, experiencing this thing, this goal, this connection that you want. Let yourself be one with the emotions that come up as you see yourself experiencing your desire right now. Feel your chest expand with air as you breathe in. Feel the love, the excitement, the joy, and the thrill of having your it right now. Observe your thoughts as they align with having your desire in this present moment. As you hear them say, "It is mine, I'm worthy of it, I claim it." For the next couple breaths, let your intention become more fierce around this thing that you know you are worthy of, you are capable of. As you inhale and exhale towards the end of this manifestation meditation, let your shoulders drop, your jaw unclench, let your body melt into gratitude. Gratitude for this practice, gratitude for receiving that which you desire, and gratitude for the community that we have here today. And when you're ready, take one more deep breath, the deepest one yet. And release completely, thanking yourself for participating in today's meditation. And thank you again, Initiate Justice, for the space to go to a place in the mind. Let us know how that felt for you in the chat. And without further ado, we'll pass it back to Daisy.
Thanks so much for grounding us and blessing us with that manifestation practice, Indigo. I think that really sets a tone for where we're going into next in our agenda. And, I'm going to have Greg, our policy manager, talk about what happened last night, where we're at, and just give everybody, the update on what's going on with the election. So go ahead and take it away, Greg.
Yeah, thank you, Daisy. So obviously right now things are uncertain in terms of the presidential election and various Senate races, but it's not uncertain? Prop 17. Prop 20 failing. Measure J passing in LA. Jackie Lacey getting the hell out of LA, right? All these wins that happened in California are honestly beyond my wildest expectations for last night, right? If you want to talk about mass incarceration in California, it's on the way out. It ain't going to take us very many more years to get this done, right? I'm not going to talk about Prop 17 too much because obviously y'all know all about that. We're going to have a panel later tonight from a lot of the folks who were deeply involved in that campaign. If I talk about it more, I'm also going to cry again, and I already cried once today about Prop 17, so I'm not going to do that again. But Prop 17, obviously historic campaign. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like LeBron, I just won an NBA championship. We just passed Prop 17. They said it couldn't be done. We changed a 175-year-old racist law that was part of California's first constitution in 1850. And you know who did it? Y'all, right? There's no millions of dollars special interest behind the scenes pulling the strings. It's 100% people power, right? And you got the power of the people. You can do anything you want. You can make all the change you want to in the world. And this should be the example for us, for anything we want to do going forward. That they said this couldn't be done. Well, look at us now. What's going to happen? We're going to keep it pushing. We come for bigger and better things going forward. So Prop 17, amazing win. Congratulations to everyone. I hope everybody feels like they have a stake and they have a part in this campaign, because you all certainly do. I want to also talk about Prop 20, which, just as good as news, Prop 20 failed horribly yesterday, right? So Prop 17 had the highest margin of victory of any of the propositions. On the flip of that, Prop 20 had the second largest margin of defeat of any of them, right? And that's what Prop 20 is about, right? Is saying that we need more prisons, we need more jails, we need more law enforcement to deal with these issues. And they got laughed out of the game. Like, that's objectively embarrassing, right? To be spending $4 or $5 million and then lose by that margin. Like, yo, the cops are going to be sad tonight. The cops, the prison guard unions, the sheriffs, everybody who was funding Prop 20 is embarrassed right now. They thought that Californians thought we were going too far with reforms. Well, reality check, we just getting started. If they sad now, imagine what we're going to do in 2 years, in 4 years, right? They cry all they want. They cry themselves to sleep. We going to keep it pushing, right? And we just getting started, right? And I'm so glad that Prop 20 failed, because now there is no argument that the people don't want this, or the people don't want reform. Californians are very, very clear, right? They are for restoring voting rights, and they are not for going back to mass incarceration, right? I also want to take a moment to talk about Prop 25, which obviously, you know, was a contentious issue. There were folks on both sides, very principled decisions on both sides, principled positions. And obviously, right, cash bail is an unconscionable feature of our criminal legal system, right? Currently, it is better to be rich and guilty than it is to be poor and innocent in our system, right? Because this classist, hyper-capitalist system rewards those with more resources who can then buy their freedom during pretrial detention. So pretrial justice still needs to be examined. It still needs to be worked on, right? And what we're saying is that we're not going to replace this one shitty system with one that's just as shitty. No, we're going to come back and replace it with one that is truly transformative, right? So cash bail, this is not the last time we will be talking about it. That's not the last time we'll be voting on it as Californians. And personally, I'm glad that Prop 25 failed, right? Because that would take many, many years to undo if that had passed, right? And that is something that could be a real detriment for the movement going forward. But now we have a chance to come back to the table when we're thinking about pretrial justice and really coming with transformative, you know, people-centered, people-powered ideas and movements here to reimagine what we're talking about with pretrial justice. And we're talking about reimagining. Let's talk about Reimagine LA in LA County, Measure J. If you live in LA, you should be a very proud Angelino right now, right? This is the Los Angeles that I wish I grew up in, but now that my nephews and future generations will grow up in, right? Measure J is going to set aside 10% of the county budget each year, which could look anywhere from like $360 million to $900 million that the cops can never touch, the sheriffs can never touch, right? That's going to go aside explicitly for alternatives to incarceration. that look like housing, that look like counseling, that look like mental health services, right? Because we know if you give people those three things, you're not going to need prisons and jails and cops in the first place, right? We are going to meet people's very basic needs for the first time in the history of the state of in this country with Measure J. And then we're going to see the reliance on incarceration is going to melt away, right? Because in the first place, that was never keeping us safe. But now we're going to prove that these alternatives will keep us safe. And it's just the beginning for other jurisdictions, other states, and it's going to be a nationwide model. So huge shout out to the organizers in LA, the Reimagine LA steering committee, all the folks there. Amazing victories across the board for us last night. Really just can't say enough. And just want to say, we're just getting started, right? I think Zykia is here. Zykia is going to end 3 strikes in 2022, right? So this is not the last you're hearing of Initiate Justice and of movement people bringing up these huge, crazy ideas, right? Zykia is going to end 3 strikes in 2022. We go run it back, restore the right to vote for people who are incarcerated in 2022, 2024, and we're just going to keep it pushing, right? And this is really going to be the last decade, the last few years where mass incarceration has this stranglehold on California, right? We are breaking that. We are breaking the mold, and we are really creating the California that we all want to live in, that we know that is currently, I'm sure, like the rest of y'all, I deeply love California. I'm a born and raised Californian, but our state is really got a lot of work to do when it comes to criminal legal issues, mass incarceration issues, right? But I have so much hope for this next decade that when we get to 2030, we're not going to be having this conversation about what we need to do to end mass incarceration, because we will have already ended it, right? Like, I just can't express to y'all how much hope I have right now for this next decade. Last night was super amazing. Like I said, it was beyond my expectations for the evening in terms of our Prop 17, everything we worked on. I'm gonna keep rambling, so I'm gonna stop right now. But y'all had a huge part in this, especially with Prop 17. Congratulations to all of us. Congrats to all of our friends here and community who are with us tonight who now have their right to vote back. Never should have been taken in the first place, but now we made sure that they'll never take it again. So with that, I'll pass it back to y'all, Daisy, and just appreciate everybody letting me have this space.
Actually, Daisy,
thanks so much, Greg. Yeah, go ahead.
It's gonna be kind of hard to follow up what Greg said, but I just want to do like some shout outs real quick, or let y'all shout yourselves out, because like Greg said, we've been working on this for the best part of 3 years, and I think most people on this video meeting right now have been involved in one way or another. Just maybe raise your hand or something like that. Like, how many people did a lobby visit for ACA 6 to help get it?
Oh, there you go.
Right. How many people maybe called your legislators or sent a letter of support for ACA 6? How many people donated to the Prop 17 campaign? Right. This is our victory, y'all. This is our victory. This happened because people who are directly impacted by incarceration decided that we wanted to do something, and we did it. We had one of the lowest budgets out of any other ballot proposition. But like Greg said, we won by the biggest margin. And that's because we've been laying the groundwork for this. And that's because people in prison also sent in thousands of letters of support for ACA 6, because 4 million incarcerated people and people with incarcerated loved ones stood up. So I just really want to thank all of you who've been part of this fight for the past 3 years or so. This is all of our victory. And now I pass it back to you, Daisy.
Thanks so much for sharing those words, Tanya, and also Greg. And just wanted to give folks, to let folks know that we are going to be having space for you all to also bask in this glory and share some of your comments and thoughts on the election a little later on. That way you can also, just express your thoughts with other members in the community who have been working on this and the other campaigns that we're working on to make sure that we're moving in the direction that we want to go to. So thank you both for sharing that, and for letting us see where things are at as we move forward. And just to be clear, this is just the first step in us moving things in the direction that we're trying to go to with the changes that we're trying to seek. We're going to be hearing later on tonight during the panel from folks as far as how this is going to help them with other wins that they're trying to do for the upcoming elections. So I'm just really, really excited to share that with everybody. But I'm going to go ahead and get us started with tonight's meeting. So Again, if you are just tuning in, please take a second to sign in to the link that's being shared in the chat. This is how we're able to see who's coming to our meetings, which leads me into announcing our new members that have been officiated as Initiate Justice outside members. And so just to give folks an understanding of what that is, outside members are members who are attending, who have attended at least 3 out of the 4 consecutive meetings that we've had, and have participated in some of our committees, are working to help us with the campaigns that we're working on. And we are actually starting to develop some materials that we'll be able to send out to our members to welcome you for this, for those who have already been initiated. So stay tuned for that. But for this month, I'm really excited to announce the following folks as members of Initiate Justice. So I'd like to everybody to give a round of applause, a warm welcome to the Initiate Justice family, to Amy Smith, Anna Williams, Anna Erikelian, Sherry Kearns, Fabi Carcamo, Jeanette Vico, Melanie Havlin, MJ King, Cheryl Kwok, Sophia Candle, and Xochitl Acevedo. So congratulations for becoming an official Initiate Justice member. You are now part of the growing family at Initiate Justice to help us build power on the outside and on the inside, and help us abolish prisons and end mass incarceration. So welcome to our family, and thank you all so much for being so supportive of our organization. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just proceed with some organizational updates before I turn it over to our committees. Just wanted to let everybody know that we are going to be closed. Initiate Justice will be closed this upcoming week, so that way we can recharge, rest our batteries, and just, get ready for the work that we have to plan out the, 2021 goals that we want to set out to do. So you might see us be a little bit quiet on social media, but we will be back and ready to share out with everybody our plans for the upcoming year. We also have a staff retreat the week after the week off next week. So we are going to be taking that time to really strategize about what policy proposals we want to bring to the table, and how we want to build out the power with our members on the outside in 2021. So for the December 2nd meeting, which will be the last meeting of the year, that's where we'll be able to share out with everybody what we decided as a team to what direction we wanted to go to for the upcoming year. So stay tuned for that. And for our outside organizers, we are going to be having a convening in December. An email was sent out to you, so just keep an eye out for that if you haven't already, and just RSVP for that, because we really want to make sure that we can bring you into those conversations to help us develop strategies that we want to build. So just some quick announcements for that. And so what I'll do now is I'll turn it over to our committee updates, and I'll start off with advocacy, which will be led by Sarah, who's our policy fellow, for folks who maybe missed that part during last members meeting. So welcome, Sarah, to the team once again, and take it away with our advocacy committee updates.
Thank you, Daisy. So first, I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who came to the advocacy committee brainstorming session. That was awesome. I really can't express our gratitude. Y'all are really the backbone in our legislation. We do this all for us. So thank you for joining and being there with us. And also we're discussing future brainstorming sessions, so keep an eye out for that. And the Google form to collect feedback on family connection bill ideas is still open. So if you have any thoughts on future bill ideas to increase family connections, or any suggestions or like unintended consequences, or any feedback really, then feel free to take a look at the Google form for more information, and I will drop that for more information and for a chance to submit your response, and I'll drop that link in the chat right now. And then next, in terms of family connections, the policy team is finalizing a family connection survey. So with the Democracy Needs Everyone report, we Initiate Justice utilized results from a survey on the inside regarding voting rights. And that report was really important in advocating for ACA 6, which turned into Proposition 17. And IJ already completed a family connection survey for those on the inside, and now we're finalizing one for system impacted folks on the outside. And they'll also be used, like the Democracy Needs Everyone report, to advocate for our upcoming policy proposals. So that'll hopefully be dropping on Friday. And y'all, again, you're the foundation of this operation. So please take a few moments to fill out that survey once y'all see it. And then lastly, the Advocacy Committee's next meeting is Tuesday, the 24th at 5:30. And other than that, unless there's any questions or comments, or Greg, if you have anything to add in terms of the Advocacy Committee, if y'all don't have any questions though, I'll pass it back to you, Daisy.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And I'm going to be dropping in the chat in a second. Or actually, thank you, Greg. So Greg, for those who are wanting to join the Advocacy Committee, you can message Sarah at policy@initiatejustice.org or Greg at initiatejustice.org. Our Advocacy Committee works on getting us through our campaigns, developing strategies, and giving folks action items to help us get to our mission. So for anybody who's new or wanting to plug into that committee, more members are always welcome to join. And we definitely need all the help that we can get. So thank you so much for that update, Sarah. Next, I'll turn it over to Lee, who manages our Inside Organizing Committee.
What's up, y'all? I can vote now. That's right. Give it up to IJ for making it happen, and all the supporters out there and our loved ones inside. Keep rallying up the votes. Keep rallying up the ideas, because we're going to bring them to fruition. So my name's Lee Gibson, he, him, his. I'm the Inside Organizing Manager. We have about 146 Inside Organizers right now, and it's growing. I still have about 85 of them that need to be phone trained. And so let's talk a little bit about what Inside Organizing does. Taina talked about it earlier. Support letters to the Assembly, support letters to the Senate, support letters to their families. Everybody needs to get in on this. Everybody needs to make sure that they have their voice heard. And that's where the Inside Organizers coming through. GTL wants to make a big old dime off of our back, where we're going to use their means of and their modes of communication against them. We're going to use those phones to be able to hustle up and to rally up our people on the outside, our loved ones, to be able to vote for the things that are going to make a difference in our judicial system. So in addition to that, in addition to the support letters and the phone calls, we sent in thousands of postcards this last quarter, and all of those got sent out to families and loved ones, and telling them to vote yes on 17 and no on 20. And it isn't no coincidence that one of them lost by one of the biggest margins and one of them won by the biggest margin. This right here is what we do. This right here is how we are going to make the process more appealing to the people that it actually affects. So Inside Organizing, what we do, if you want to have fun, you want to talk to the people that are inside, you want to talk to the people with the boots on the ground, the people that all of these types of bills and the legislative action kind of touches, join us, because that's what we do. We train the Inside Organizers. Like I said, we have 146 right now. We have like over 85 of them that need to be phone trained. I have about 7 phone trainers right now, and they are taking on a few people each week to be able to get them up to par, up to date on not only the legislative process, but how these bills and how these laws are going to be changed. As far as that goes, we are also, if you don't necessarily want to get involved with that, in the IO committee, we're also doing a newspaper. You can make your voice be heard, share some of your words of wisdom with those inside, make them right there hear your voices, share the love, show them what's up, show them what time it is, and let them know that they're not forgotten and that they're cared for. So if you want to be able to join the Inside Organizing Committee, you can hit me up at Lee at Initiate Justice. Our next meeting is going to be on 11/20 at 5:30. Normally we meet on the 4th Friday. These next 2 months, we're going to meet on the 3rd Friday because of the holidays. So please go ahead and hit me up. You want to be able to get involved in the Inside Organizing Committee. We take all comers. We're a small group, but we have a lot of fun, and we're making a big difference in the inside. And so we would love to be able to have you all join us. If you have any questions, you can always hit me up at, again, Lee at initiatejustice.org. Thanks. I got my right to vote back.
Thank you so much, Lee, for that. And congratulations on being able to now, cast a vote in the upcoming elections. And somebody made a comment in the chat. I just wanted to throw that out there, that they think you would be a good salesperson. So if you're looking for a good salesman, contact Lee Gibson. So next we're gonna go with our healing committee updates. And I believe Indigo is going to be giving those on behalf of our healing committee. So I'll pass it back over to you, Indigo.
Yeah. Hi guys, it's actually Rasheeda, but you know that is my partner in crime. But hi everyone. I first would like to shout out everyone who faithfully attends our circles, our healing circles. We cannot do it without you guys. Also want to shout out everyone who faithfully attends our healing committee. Again, we are together in this, and you guys have brilliant ideas, so I encourage you to keep coming. All of our October's meetings were very powerful, and we ended it with a very powerful healing circle in honor of Dia de los Muertos, a celebration, which was an amazing, powerful circle. So we're just trying to create ways to be inclusive and to acknowledge everyone and their beliefs and their cultures. So if you guys have any ideas that you would like to bring to the table, come to our healing committee. Just a few updates for the month of November. Our men's healing circle is scheduled for November 9th from 6 to 7:30. Our formerly incarcerated circle is every third Mondays, which is November 16th from 6 to 7:30. Every third Wednesday of the month is people with incarcerated loved ones, led by me and Indigo, which is November 18th, 6 to 7:30. And then every last Monday of the month is our healing committee, which is going to be November 30th of this month. And that starts at 5:30, which lasts an hour. So if you have any questions, any concerns, any feedback, join us, because we are doing a lot of powerful things with our healing committee, and we're super excited to have it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the updates. Just continue to come.
Thank you so much for that update, Rasheeda. And again, Indigo shared in the chat the recap of what the events are, what will be happening in November. So next Monday, there's a men's healing circle on November 9th, followed by a formerly incarcerated healing circle taking place on the 16th. And people with incarcerated loved ones will be on the 18th. All of these take place from 6 to 7:30 p.m. California time. So for folks who want to learn more about it, you can email joinhealing@initiatejustice.org. Rasheeda and Indigo, there's a question in the chat whether the healing committee sends email reminders or updates for these events. I'm wondering if either of you could answer that.
Yeah, we do. We send emails for reminders. So you'll get that, Dakota. I got you on the list. I got you. And Rasheeda is going to send out the reminders. Also, just wanted to really quickly add is we're also starting to look for other people to facilitate our healing circles and be trained with the IJ framework of healing and how to kind of like lead the meditations and the activities and stuff like that. So if you are interested in actually becoming a facilitator of the healing circles, just shoot us the email, make yourself known, shoot your shot, and we'll put you on a list. So when the training is ready to go, you can be in on that. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And lastly, I just wanted to give an update before we go into our breakout groups for tonight on the data entry that we have been sharing on our social media. So we had shared out that there's a need to enter a lot of names that we've been receiving from folks on the inside who want to be added to our mailing list. Initiate Justice sends a quarterly newsletter to our inside members, which we currently have over 30,000. And so there's a long list of folks who are waiting to get added to receive the last newsletter of the year that will be sent out at the very beginning of December. And so we had put an ask out for folks to join us for a data entry night that we hosted last month. And so we just wanted to share back and report that because of all the volunteers that came through, we were able to add 934 names in 1 hour. So thank you so much to everybody who showed up, who entered names. And from that group, we actually retained a significant number of volunteers who wanted to keep on adding names in their spare time. So we've already been adding, I believe we've already added over 400 names in addition to what we did on the data entry night. And we're continuing to just give folks names to enter as we receive them from the inside. We have a goal of reaching 40,000 members. So we're trying to get to that as close as possible as we can before we send out that last newsletter. So just wanted to give everybody that update, and hopefully we'll be sharing a good number of where we stand at for the December member meeting. And so we are also currently developing strategies for hosting a mail response night. That's something that a lot of folks are familiar with. At Initiate Justice hosts mail nights where we respond to mail from the inside. And so right now we're revamping the way that we do those mail nights. And so we have a mail interest form that we have shared out with folks to complete, just to give us an idea of when they're available to host a mail night, and that way we can, get these going back up again. So I'm dropping the link in the chat for folks to, fill out if you are interested in participating in a mail night, and that way your response gives us an idea of where we can put these mail nights out at the forefront and bring them back for everybody, because I know that that's something that a lot of people miss and look forward to. So just wanted to share that out. There was a question in the chat whether the newsletters are in Spanish. We currently only do them in English, but I know that we have been seeing an interest in having these done in Spanish. So I'll definitely circle that for the team, but thank you so much, Valerie, for asking that question, but currently only available in Spanish. And for folks who are new and maybe are not familiar, you can actually access all of our past newsletters on our website. So initiatejustice.org, there's a section under our resources, where you can access all of our last newsletters. You can download, you can print them and send them to your loved ones. But if they're on our mailing list, they do receive the newest ones that we send out. So just wanted to share that. And if you're interested in adding more names, feel free to let me know in the chat, private message me. I'll go through after the meeting and pull out names of folks who had wanted to participate in that. So just wanted to share that out. But yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into the next section of the meeting, which is breakout sessions. And so this is where we're going to have an opportunity to be in smaller groups and really debrief on what happened last night with each other, share your thoughts, your sentiments. Are you excited? Are you, relieved? Are you bummed out? And so we're going to be asking folks in these small groups, 4 to 6, depending on how many we break them out to, just to share thoughts on what election night was like for them. Did you watch the election results? What were the results that you were most pumped up about? Which ones are you most upset about? Are they local races, state races? Are you, what are you looking at on the national level? So this is just going to really give us an opportunity to do that in smaller groups, if you haven't had a chance to do that already. So Taina, I think you are going to break this out into breakout sessions. So she's going to break us out, and we'll be coming back in about 10 minutes where we can do that and debrief as a larger group.
Do you have a sense, Daisy, of about how many people you want in each group?
I don't, but there's about 80 folks in tonight's meeting. So if we can do 4 to 5, I think that would be great.
All right, got it. All right, everybody, I'm sending y'all to your groups, and I know Daisy said the questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop them in the broadcast so that y'all can see the questions. And I'm sorry, Daisy, remind me how much time we have in our groups?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. See y'all in 10 minutes.
Hi, everybody. Just waiting for folks to come back from their meeting. So I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds. Looks like folks are tuning back in. And I think everybody is back. So I'll go ahead and just kick off the larger group discussion to see if folks have any thoughts they want to share out with the rest of the group as far as like what last night felt like for you, whether you watched it, if you did you watch it with friends? Did you watch it alone? Did you have a Zoom watch party? And if you did, keep an eye on the results. What was that like for you? So just excited to give folks space to share out with everybody else their thoughts. So feel free to raise your hand or in the chat where you can click on your name and just say raise hand, and I can unmute you on my end to share out with the larger group. And I'm gonna go to Maria Moore, who is one of our outside organizers from the first cohort. Just wanted to acknowledge her as we unmute her. Maria, are you able to unmute yourself? Oh, I got you. Or actually, Taina, can you? Oh, yeah, okay, there we go.
I unmuted. Oh, hey, y'all. First of all, big props to all of us, because, man, yeah, so, I don't know, some folks in two people from our group ended up leaving. So, but no, we talked about how exciting it was and how exciting it is that we were instrumental. Like, I can tell folks like, yeah, like I did that. Like I was part of helping put that on the ballot, and I was part of like making sure that happened. And I know the last month for me has been very busy with phone calls, because a lot of my friends were calling me and they were like, okay, explain these propositions. So it was good. It was really, it feels good. I can't wait to see what else we can do.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Maria. And another one of our outside organizers, Adrianna from our Bay Area cohort.
And we got fucking Jackie Lacey out of here, man.
Yes. Adrianna, are you able to unmute yourself on your end?
Yeah, I got it. All right, so I'm still like processing everything, but one of the general consensus from the group I was in was how just excited we were about the defeat of Prop 20. And that was just the general consensus. We were all super stoked about 17, but I think Prop 20 is like, it was a whole nother monster in and of itself. And we were just like, I think there's some shock, there's some like, there's all the feelings rolled up in that. So that, and then just really quickly wanted to just share out, like, I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this, but I'm definitely less anxious than I was 4 years ago. So I'm definitely like this year, I'm not as like tense and like the sky is falling. So that's different. And so I'm wondering if anybody else feels the same way. But yeah, that's those are my 2 cents. But yeah, I'm stoked, I'm excited, and I'm still processing everything. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks for sharing, Adrianna. Becky also wanted to share some thoughts. So Becky, if you could unmute yourself on your end, that would be fabulous. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I apologize for not having my video on. My apartment is not fit to be seen right now. So first of all, I went to the election watch party event last night that Just Cities and Black Tech for Black Lives put on. And I encourage everybody to check out those 2 groups because they put on an amazing event with among other people, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and I'm trying to remember who all else was there. It was an amazing lineup of speakers and performers, and it was just awesome. Anyway, I was super excited about everything that passed and everything that didn't pass, and in particular, Measure J. I don't know if there's anyone on this call who isn't familiar with what Measure J is, but if you are not, I encourage you to go read about it, because it is the embodiment of care, not cages. And it is an amazing, amazing, amazing measure with all kinds of awesome stuff that goes along with it. And it is about crisis prevention, so that there will be no harm and no carceral system. And I think it is just amazing. So I was super excited to see that passed.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I think that's what we were bringing up too in my group, is the Measure J win is historic for Los Angeles County. So really exciting to see what will happen now that we have, money that's being invested into our community instead of incarceration. So very excited about that. Next, it looks like Scheyla, who is also an organizer from the Los Angeles area, wants to share out sentiments from the election. So Scheyla, if you could unmute yourself, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. So this presidential election is the first one that I get to vote because I just became a citizen in 2018. So to me, I know that it was a little different, a different situation, but I wanted to make sure that all the brothers and sisters were able to vote. And this is the first time that also, I know that I voted in the primaries, but it was kind of like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because I didn't know what was going on. But I want to thank everybody in the team and the advocacy committee for Daisy, for your patience, because I was always texting her, asking her questions. What is this about? For I know that it was just a small thing that I did, but I felt like I won an Oscar or like an Olympic medal or something yesterday. But I was out. I'm very emotional, so I was out. I was in tears because I'm very happy, and I feel that like we say in Spanish, el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. It's like the people together can never be defeated. And this, what I also like that I had the opportunity to share with some people at church. I do have friends that are Republican, and I really like that I had a chance to share with people because I took the time to educate myself about Prop 17. I was able to just go at it and start sharing your stories, whomever stories were there. I shared Nikki's, Miss Betty, John, Lee, anything that I could from different people, I was able to share. And I want to thank everybody that was able to share their story, because we were out there fighting with people, not fist fighting, but I know that a lot of people that are like Latinos and that are older, they're more conservative in a lot of stuff. But I like that there were several of them that were able to vote yes on 17. So I want to thank everybody for their support when I started asking all kinds of questions, and for sharing different avenues to get more information. So yes, it was really excited, and I feel like we're unstoppable. And now with Zakia, it's about the 3 strikes now. So that's very dear to my heart right there. So we're gonna need all hands on deck for that one. So we got to make that one happen too. Thank you.
Thank you, Scheyla, for sharing that. And again, congratulations for being able to vote in this election. So really excited that you were able to participate in our democracy this year. And it looks like Estefany and Larry also want to share some comments. So if you could unmute yourself on your end, we'd love to hear from the both of you on your thoughts of last night and where we're at now.
Well, I wanted to say, excuse me, I was really disappointed to see the County Federation of Labor came out against Measure J. That shocked me. And also the people that supported Herb Weston, a whole lot of progressives, including the County Federation of Labor, supported this candidate who's taken over $700,000 from the police unions. I think they need to hear back from us about that. But that's just not okay. And especially coming out with a no on J. The thing is I had a opportunity this summer to buttonhole Gascon outside of Youth Justice Coalition Forum. They had, and I asked them, you know, if they'd be willing, if you'd be willing to do a look back, you know, a sentence review on gang enhancements, and he said yes. And I know we're not the only ones affected by gang enhancements. I think we really need to call in our chits now with him and say, okay, we want to see that happening.
Thank you for sharing that, Larry. And so we have one last person I'm going to call on before we head over to our panel, Mireya, who's going to take our center stage right now and show us her cool background. We'll share her thoughts on last night's race.
I was so excited with you guys. I was like in tears when you guys posted that. But I'm super stoked. I'm just excited because last night I chose to watch alone because I wasn't sure where my emotions were going to be about everything and just like the roller coaster. So coming into IJ, I don't want to get emo about it, but coming into IJ, I didn't anticipate, like, I didn't really know where it was going to go or take me, but being able to train inside organizers has given me a completely different insight because we see it from our perspective. And I think that's what I'm the most emotional about because I can't wait to hear from our inside organizers and be able to share this victory with them just to get a completely different perspective. Sharing it with my friends and my family was amazing. To be able to educate people that are directly, indirectly, but just, you know, being able to share the knowledge was huge for me. But to be able to share that with inside organizers is just going to make me just over the moon, super emo all over again. And I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful to be able to be a part of it and to know that, you know, we each played a role in it and from start to finish. So I'm just super thankful for Lee for being so patient with me and so supportive, and everybody else that is there alongside and sharing those same things with us, with the inside organizers, those same feelings and emotions. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you, Mireya, and thank you so much for elevating that because that's also something that has been on my mind all day. As I've been getting calls from my loved ones, getting emails from their loved ones and relaying messages of congratulations that this is a group effort. Like we could not have done it with our inside members and our organizers. Part of the effort that we did with Prop 17 was sending in postcards to our inside members and asking them to send it to their loved ones on the outside to really spread the word on yes on 17 and no on 20. So this is also their celebration, their win. And, you know, I think that's the best part is hearing from our folks on the inside, sharing that excitement with them that we did this together and it was a collaborative effort. So thank you so much for sharing that. And just to plug in again, the Inside Organizing Committee, that's something that you can also get involved with and you can email Lee who dropped his information in the chat. He's highlighting a sample of the postcard that we sent in to our folks in his background. And so, you know, it's just excited that we are all able to celebrate in this together. But I'll go ahead and kick us over now to our panel, which is probably the most exciting for me, is to hear from folks who worked on the campaign, their thoughts and you know, where we're at next. So let's go ahead and kick us off to the panel. So we're going to be joined today by some of our communications fellows for the Yes on Prop 17 campaign. And these fellows are all directly impacted. And, you know, for some of them, they were able to get the right to vote back during the campaign. Others now have the right to vote as a result of Prop 17 passing. And these folks were key in sharing their story and really tying that direct effect that it has on them and others like them to get Prop 17 to pass. So we'll be joined today by Prop 17 fellows John, Nikki, and Miss Betty. I think Veronica may not be on, I'm not sure. And then we're also going to be hearing from Lee, who you heard from earlier, directly impacted and now has the right to vote, who's on our team, and also Zakia, who's an outside organizer with Initiate Justice and was volunteering on the Prop 17 campaign. So I want to welcome them all here and wanted to ask first if we could have them introduce themselves, just a quick 30-second introduction, your name, your pronoun, how you're involved with the Prop 17 campaign. So I'll turn it over to John first, if you could introduce yourself to everybody here.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I probably won't stop smiling. My jaw's hurt and everything, you know. I was incarcerated for 30 years. Been home for 2 years. Got involved with Initiate Justice, and it all went bad after that, right? Then I got involved with Common Fellows and got involved with Prop 17, something I believed in. And they allowed me to share my voice and to share my story. And I hope and I pray that it helps some, you know what I mean, to get this passed. And I'm elated. And I'll pass that on to my fellow brothers and sisters. But I'm John, him, her, he, and King.
Thank you, King. And with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to Nikki to introduce yourself to our team. We're very happy that you're here with us, Nikki. Welcome.
Hi, guys. Nikki Martinez. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys did for us, man. Like, you guys, I'm sure you guys know what it means, but just thank you. So I'm already, everybody's like, I'm not gonna get emo. I'm sorry, I've been throwing up all day buckets, so it's just happening. I'm so sorry. She, her, hers for sure. Right here, and I'm system impacted. I was 17 years old. I committed a crime. I was tried and sentenced to 45 years to life. I served 25 years. I've been home for 18 months. I have 5 jobs now. I just got a promotion at my youth empowerment job, and I am now a COO of a nonprofit organization, which is super huge. I'm super grateful to be able to work with our folks that are getting out and being able to instill hope in them and letting them know now too that they have a voice and they have a vote. So thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a comms person on this huge ass campaign, dude. I'm super, super grateful to everyone on here and all of your guys' hard work, man. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Nikki. How about Ms. Betty? You want to go next?
Now, y'all know Miss Betty always ready. G.O. go. Let's go. Miss Betty, she, her queen at IJ. Outside organizers say yes. And I'm elated. It's just been so much. But the ride is real, y'all. The revolution will be on social media. Check.
Thank you, Ms. Betty. Zakia, did you want to introduce yourself to folks on the call?
Sure. Zakia Prince, she, her, hers. And I got involved with IJ probably like a year and a half ago. My husband is currently incarcerated, and you know, I'm just so honored to be in community with all of you, and you know, I had the pleasure of working with the Comms Fellows for the Yes on 17 campaign. Yes, free Nova's daddy. And you know, just working with the campaign all together. You know, I'll share a little bit more later, but it's been a real pleasure, and thank y'all for having me tonight.
Thank you, Zakia. I don't see Veronica on the call, but Veronica, if you're here, let me know, and I'll call on you next. Otherwise, I'm going to turn it over to Lee. Lee, can you just quickly introduce yourself for folks maybe who missed the introduction at the beginning, and you know how you are involved or impacted by this campaign?
Awesome. Thank you so much. My name's Lee Gibson, he, him, his. I'm the Inside Organizing Manager here at Initiate Justice. How I'm impacted by incarceration. I too was a juvenile, Nikki, when I went in at 17 years old. I spent 25 years I was able to get out from underneath a life without parole sentence. And so I'm just grateful to be here and grateful to be around royalty, because that's what y'all are, your social justice movement royalty. And I'm so glad to be able to spend this time in this space with y'all. Hopefully Veronica's back on and we'll just get a little bit more into it, into the panel. But thank you so much for all the support that everybody's given us and for working so hard right now.
Thank you all. So I'll go ahead and kick us off with an easy question, like as you know, comms fellows, people who are directly impacted, as people who worked on that campaign, what are your thoughts on last night's result? Like, is it something that you were expecting? You know, what were your feelings as you were watching the results? Open to anybody on the panel. Would love to hear you share with the rest of our teams what your thoughts are after working on this campaign.
I'll be happy to take the lead on this because it was just a lot. It was in some ways overwhelming, but because of who we are and what we are, I knew we was gonna win. And I was just excited to hear it come over the numbers at the election. I just wanted to hear it. And so I had so many feelings about it. One, because what I'm clear about is that we actually pushed Prop 17. But in pushing Prop 17, we also pushed 20 and 25, because everywhere we went, they was like, what other initiatives are you doing? What other props are you putting? And so because we did our homework and because of the teamwork that we did, and we were aware of everything, not just Prop 17, we were able to push those in strategic places. And I think that's what came over the win. That's what came with the wins with those particular props, because those were the ones that we were pushing. So I just knew the power that we were pushing through California and abroad. And I was just really happy to see it come into fruition. What more I really appreciated was, and I'm gonna stop because y'all know I'll talk all night. But what happened during this election is we took every image of what people had about who formerly incarcerated people were and what they weren't, and we crushed it and replaced that with our own images and our own speeches and our own everything. So we created a new image of who formerly incarcerated people are. And that was a change, and that was a turnaround, and that is what we're going to build on, because we are powerful people. And this couldn't have happened with any other group of people other than formerly incarcerated people and impacted folks. Check.
Thank you, Ms. Betty. John, I'm curious, as someone who had done a lot of speaking engagements, you were out there on the front lines sharing your story. What are your thoughts on last night? Are you elated? What are you feeling?
For me, my elation comes from the fact that I'm an optimist and I'm a humanist, so I believe in people. So I kind of knew that the proposition would pass, but I want to see how many people have my kind of heart or have our kind of heart. And that's what that kind of showed me. So to get, I always felt that all the people needed was to hear that this was going on, because they didn't know. Like I said, I'm an optimist, so I believe more of the people, right? So I'm like, if we get this message out, and it's the proof, because we didn't have as much money as other the propositions of the other campaigns, right? But what we did was we got our heart out. We didn't take our money out. We put our heart out, right? And people responded with hearts like ours. So that was my blessing, and that was my elation with last night.
Thank you, John. Nikki, I'm going to go to you now. You know, what are your thoughts on last night's win as you were watching the results and even once it was declared victory? So curious to hear, you know, what you were feeling in that moment.
So I was with Taina and we were doing a little thing. And so, and oh my God, what is his, I can't, and all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. Patrick, like up at like he just touches my soul. It's like 12 o'clock out there and he's on this chat chilling with us, you know, like just being completely present. And, you know, the folks from the Brennan Center, like, dude, they really showed up too and were a part of this, and they're all the way on the East Coast. So I really shout out to them, and I appreciate them and their support and what they did for us, and definitely helped me a lot of the way. But you know, as it was going on, it was like I didn't have access to know what was going on in real time or whatever. So I was just like kind of relying on them. And so then you know, it was a long day. So I ended up it was this morning when it hit me, and definitely just, I don't know, it changed everything. It changed my perspective. It changed the fiber of my being, just knowing that I had the ability to vote. So it definitely created a lot of hope and excitement and just motivation, you know. And it's like I said, you know, I just see your guys' tireless, I mean, endless efforts for folks that are not directly impacted, that, you know, this could make you or break you in either way, shape or form. And yet you guys were here like diligently working, I mean, so hard, you know. So again, you know, thank you guys so much for everything. And I'm just, I told my little breakout crew, you know, when I found out I was in the streets doing cartwheels, I'm 100, I can't do cartwheels, but inside I was doing cartwheels, just so you guys know. And I was letting them spin like I should have been in the circus somewhere. I'm super happy. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you for sharing, Nikki. Lee, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know you've shared some initial thoughts, but I mean, you know, just to get everybody to see, you know, as someone who now has the right to vote back, how does this win feel for you? Along with, you know, organizing with our folks on the inside, you played a role in this campaign being a success. So excited to hear from you too.
Yeah, thank you so much. And, you know, the gratitude and just like the humbleness is like the overriding feeling within me. I've talked to the team about this a little bit, and, you know, growing up, I felt disconnected and not with my community and even my own family members at times. And so I never had the right to vote. I got locked up at the age of 17, so I never had the right to vote. And while inside, you know, I did a lot of work on myself, a lot of transformation and a lot of inner work to be able to become the person that I am. And I really love who I am. And so while I was inside, and we would start to advocate for policy change, and it's really the big movement started with the juvenile bills and the Senate Bill 9 and 399, and you know, then we got into 260, and people really started to see where their power was, and their powers in the votes, the powers in the families, the powers in the people that are actually going and casting ballots. And that's how we're going to change these laws. And this is how we're going to change the system, is being able to take that power back and not let somebody else dictate our emotions, dictate our govern how we're going to operate and move about our communities and interact with one another. And so they get it inside. They understand. And while I was in there, you know, there was this one little piece that was missing, and that's returning back to the community and being able to become civically involved. And a big part of that is obviously volunteerism, but it's also voting, to be able to have a say at the ballot, to be able to have a say, like who's going to be, you know, teaching our kids or our nephews or our nieces, and who's going to be making the rules and the laws for the people that are suffering from mental illness, or people that are suffering from drug addictions, or people that are just don't feel connected to their communities and getting involved in gangs and stuff like this. This right here is a big chink out of their armor that we've been able to kind of seize upon, and hopefully we can continue with this momentum and take what's rightfully ours and not fight for it, but defend. You know, we're human. All of us have the right to be able to have a say in what goes on in our lives and what goes on and say what goes on in our communities. And it's about time that we start to take that away from the people that aren't even connected to us. They're not even living in the areas that y'all are from. They're not even around us. So with the people inside, they got it. Thousands and thousands of postcards, thousands of phone calls, hundreds upon hundreds of letters to the senators from ACA 6 all the way to this. And Taina put in there 7 million votes. 7 million votes for Proposition 17. And so that's a huge number for right here. And that right there is going to ring loud in the ears when we start to go in there and bargain with these senators and the assembly of people about the bills that we want on the books. They're going to recognize that. They know what IJ is bringing to the table, and they know the political power that's behind us. And so we're just going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to push it. So I'm looking forward to the future, and we're gonna seize upon this momentum, and we're gonna turn it into a movement and not a moment.
Thanks, Lee. And Zakia, I want to give you space too to also share your thoughts. I know you are following several other campaigns as well, but this particular campaign, you were volunteering and learning skills to help you, organize for another campaign that you are getting ready to take part in the next election. So just curious to hear what it felt like for you, as someone that worked on the campaign as a volunteer based off last night's results.
I mean, I was ecstatic. And, leading up to last night, like I knew that it was going to win. Well, that's what I felt in the depths of my soul. And I'm not always, like John was saying, like he's more optimistic. And I'm not always as optimistic, about people and, the choices that they make when it comes to voting. But in this case, it was a lot different because we were coming off of the summer and, just the unrest that was happening across the nation, and people really starting to see that Black Lives mattered. And this is, felony disenfranchisement disproportionately affects Black people. And so, if nothing else, people were gonna, try to do their vote for humanity to kind of right those wrongs that they were feeling over the summer. And so I just knew that this was the time, and it was a movement that was happening. And this was kind of, just the right time to have it on the ballot, and just everything was aligned. And so yeah, I knew it was going to win, but knowing that it had actually won, like, there's really no words that can describe, what you feel like when you, pour yourself into a campaign or anything, and you see it be successful. It's just, words just can't describe how you feel. Like, you have made an investment, and you see the success of that investment. And last night I was just super excited about it. So
Thank you, Zakia. The next question I have is actually for our communications fellows. So our communications fellows were asked to be brave and share their story out with folks as we were advocating for Proposition 17 through social media, in the news, on op-eds. And so it really asked our comms fellows to be vulnerable and to allow themselves to share out some of, like the history of like where, what, why they are impacted and don't have the right to vote. So I'm very curious, Nikki, John, Miss Betty, what was it like for you to, have to be open and share your story as you were like the front line of this campaign? Is this something that, for you, was it easy? Was it difficult? And so just curious to hear what that experience was like for the three of you.
For John, I'll start off. For me, it wasn't hard. because one thing I understand is if I want to connect with someone, then they have to know my story. And this was a time and a bill that needed to have these stories told so that we can make that connection with people. So it for me, it was easy because I knew that was needed. And so I was open and willing to be vulnerable to whatever question, to whatever interview, to whoever, because I'm gonna stand in my truth, and my truth gonna be what it is, and my truth is my story.
Thank you, John. I know, Miss Betty, you were getting ready to chime in, so I'll go to you next.
Okay. There was a time that I would shy from telling my story publicly and out loud. And that was on the inside. Just FYI, I did 27 years. I've been out for 3. But when I was inside, I silenced myself because of my family and who they were and the positions that they held. And so I didn't do a lot of media that was open to me at that time because I was a fighter even then. I got shit started and inside. And so I silenced myself on their behalf because I didn't want everyone to know that their sister was in prison, because they would tell everyone that I was out of the country, that I was out of all kind of things. You know, the things our people tell people instead of they're locked up. And so I didn't do that. And there came a time when I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is not even my stuff. My truth is I'm an amazing, intelligent, badass woman, and I don't need to be silenced, you know? And so I start standing in my truth, and I start facilitating that truth to others when I was on the inside. So when I came on the outside, I was like, this is it. All of me, what I did is what I did. It's not who I am. I'm gonna show you who I am. And so I started standing in my truth. And what I realize right now in this victory that we stand in is that that was always a scare tactic with the system. That is a tactic of the system to keep us powerless, because they know how badass we are. And so if they can keep us in shame and guilt and quiet, then we don't get to bust them out. But look what happens when we stand in our truth, when we stand up and be counted, when we use our past as a catalyst to the future. Look what happens. We win. And so I'm saying that to say that encourage your loved ones to stand up and stand behind their story. Their story is their power. It's what makes them who they are today. Without that story, I wouldn't be the Miss Betty badass social justice person I am today, because I'm not half as bad as I'm gonna be, but I'm way better than I used to be. So encourage them, love on them, let them know it's okay, and don't hold that past against them. Don't you be ashamed of their past, because it hurts you just as much as it hurts them. So this is our power. This is our power. My truth is my truth, and it is what it is. And what it has done was change the picture of what people see incarcerated people to be. We are not 3-headed monsters with long tails and thrashing heads. We are beautiful, intelligent, brilliant people who can change the world. Check.
That's right, Miss Betty's putting that check on Initiate Justice. I saw someone mention that in the chat. So, Nikki, also, you know, for you, you know, what was this experience like? I know you had, you know, had your name on op-eds. You were part of interviews and so forth. So, just excited to hear just your experience in having to be vulnerable and sharing your story as part of this campaign.
So, I think the biggest thing for me is, you know, I always function from a place of knowing that I have created many victims, first and foremost, and I do everything that I can to honor them the best way that I possibly can. And I believe that I was granted freedom and I was released so that I could honor them. And I feel like my freedom would be in vain if I didn't honor them and make amends daily. And I feel like I was going back and forth with that because my story is not just my story. It was I affected people's lives, and I have to constantly keep that into consideration moving forward. At the same time, I figured what is the best way for me to make amends. And I believe that everything in the life that I'm living today and in every decision that I make today is in honor of those that I've harmed and trying to repair the damage, not just that I caused, but ultimately implementing changes and disrupting systems and transforming systems in a way in such to where it would not create harm to other folks and individuals. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is, you know, it's not hard for me to be vulnerable. It's not hard for me to share my story. It's not hard for me to speak my truth. It's not hard for me to stand in and be accountable or own anything that I've done. And also too, to find that balance and understanding what I believe that our folks inside, the trauma, the things that they endure, the things that they suffer from, the things that they deserve, especially upon coming home with the obstacles that they're already being faced and challenged with, and trying to create that balance. And I feel like it's for me personally, it's extremely important that I kind of and allow them the opportunity to merge together as tactful as possible, as respectful as possible. And I think, like I said, it was an honor and it was a privilege to be able to share my story. It far blew me out of the water at the many opportunities that I was provided on just even having a platform and having a voice and being able to share, you know, and ultimately leading it to an outstanding victory that ultimately is gonna, like I told my folks that were hitting me up this morning, you know, congratulations. They were like, congratulations, you know, you did it. And I'm like, no, you guys did it, for not me, for like 50,000 people, not me, 50,000 people now are going to be able to have that chance to transition, you know. And, you know, I've listened to a lot of opposition as far as Prop 17 goes, and it doesn't, you know, whether they want to come home and vote, it doesn't matter. What does matter though is you stripping them of their right and their due diligence and their responsibility and their civic duty to have that right is just wrong. And I stand against things that are just wrong, you know, especially anything that's racial, that causes racial disparity, that disenfranchisement, that anything that's going to oppress Black and brown people. Like I stand in the middle of that in opposition of that. And like I said, I just try and do it always reminding and functioning from a place of self-awareness and never ever forgetting. And you know, I move forward, you know, powerfully and very grateful for the person that I've become. You know, like Lee, I worked tirelessly on myself in order for me to sit before that California BPH board and get signed out and be released deemed suitable. And I don't know if you guys understand what that means, but you know, for somebody to sit there and look you in your face and tell you that you're suitable is demeaning enough to return back to society, you know. So everything that is that has come my way, I'm just super grateful for. And I'm grateful to you guys for allowing me to have the opportunity to share my story. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikki. And we are so fortunate to have had you be part of this campaign. You, John, Miss Betty, Veronica, Jose, our comms fellows, you know, being at the forefront of this and really humanizing, you know, the faces of those who would benefit from Prop 17. So thank you so much. I'm going to go turn it to one last question, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. Do you have any advice for members and organizers who are interested in working on a campaign like this in the future? Zakia, I'll go to you first because you were volunteering on this campaign. You learned a lot of skills as we were going through this campaign with managing our communications fellows. What advice do you have for folks who want to plug into something like this, maybe like the Repeal 3 Strikes coalition that you are part of? So just any advice that you have for folks who want to plug in?
Yeah, I definitely would say don't be afraid. You know, so often, you know, we're told that our voices don't matter, we don't have the power to make change. Those are all lies. We, the people, have the power, and as a community together, we will make substantial change. And so that's all you need to do is, one, not be afraid, and find you a community. And you know, this of course is a great place to start, but you know, it takes people to get the work done. So you know, definitely building a great team, and I'm sure you know Taina can attest to this. You know, an idea that started with Rasan, you know, and Taina just took it to another level. But it was the community that she built around her that brought it to fruition. And you know, just kind of I you know, was passionate about ACA 6, and you know, then Prop 17. And so, you know, I wanted to help regardless, but I really was intentional about plugging into the movement because I was preparing to kind of build this grassroots coalition to repeal 3 strikes in 2 years. And so, you know, as Taina, you know, was talking about on her live earlier, it's like, we don't know how to do it. You know, we have not taken classes on how to build a ballot initiative. And so the best way for a lot of people to learn is to be hands-on. And so I wanted to plug into, you know, a committee and really kind of learn the ins and outs of how to manage a ballot initiative. And, you know, I chose to get really involved in the comms, the communications committee. And you know, I learned so much by, you know, listening and watching and, you know, attending meetings and not always knowing what things meant, but just inserting myself in that space was the best thing I could have done to be able to really learn. And then, you know, with working with the comms fellows, which was an absolute pleasure. And, you know, Nikki, I put in the chat, like, no, you did it. Like this, all the voters did was show up and mark you know, yes. But you, Miss Betty, John, Jose, Veronica, you guys did the work. And, you know, it's because of you that we were able to pass it. And so, you know, those are the things, the advice that I would give. Definitely to not be afraid. You know, we have so much power. Like, we just need to activate that power, and really the sky is the limit. And, you know, for so long, you know, people in power, legislators and you know, our government officials have, you know, convinced us that we need them to, you know, manage the government and to make laws and to, you know, tell us what we need in our lives. But we've come to understand that we, the impacted, know what we need. And again, we have the power to get what we need. And so, you know, just, I can't say this enough, like, tap into the little bit of courage that you have and step out on faith, and you have the power to get it done. And be in community with people who can help you get it done. And, you know, as far as you know,
these grassroots campaigns, it does take a lot of work. And so, you know, investing time and energy is essential to getting the work done. But, you know, if you have an opportunity to plug into another movement, another campaign, I suggest doing so, so that you have the skill that you need to make the changes that you want to see. And you know, that's really my advice, is to just go for what you know you need and want. And you know, in doing so, we're going to bring, you know, all of our loved ones home. We're going to change the system. We are going to implement care and not cages. You know, the ball is in our court. And you know, I'm just excited to see, you know, how we continue to win this game.
Thanks so much for sharing, Zakia. Lee, I wanted to ask you, because I know you worked with mobilizing our folks on the inside. If you had any advice for folks who want to be implementing organizing in future campaigns like this, you know, do you have any thoughts to share for advice?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would be echoing what John and Nikki and Zakia and Betty would be saying, and it's tapping into that courage and the belief, that increasing the self-efficacy that you matter and that you make a difference in these campaigns, because you do. And if you're the type of person that's a little bit shy and you just don't feel like you want to share that part of your life, or if you're still going through things and you're still healing and you're still cultivating who you are as a person, there's other things too. There's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of intricacies, there's a lot of emails being sent, there's a lot of text messages. There's a lot of things that are behind the scenes that we don't even really fully understand until you're engrossed in it, and how important those things are in actually making these differences in these laws and these movements. And so I would say there's something for everyone. If you have a heart and you care about an issue, there's a place for you to be able to make a difference in it. And so that's what I would say about organizing. And that's how I talk to the folks inside too, is if one law doesn't necessarily directly impact them, it's directly impacting probably the person that's next to them or their family members, somebody else that is going to get involved in these types of movements too, and increase our workforce of people that are like, we're tired of this shit. Like, we're tired of what everybody is, how the mistreatment, we're tired of the division. We're just tired of the hatred that is kind of happening there. So lead with your heart, lead with your love, and get involved in these movements, because that's how we are going to actually change this. And there is a place for everyone. Please don't feel like that you have to be the person that's grabbing the mic or dropping the mic like Betty Doff so often does. And so just please know that there's a home for you, and IJ has a home for you for sure. And as we start to, you know, share these moments with our sister coalitions or the other coalitions that are involved in what we're doing and what we're involved in what they're doing, there's a place, and the place is now. And so please just tap into that courage and belief in yourself, that if you don't believe in yourself, we believe in you. I believe in you. You can make a difference. So please continue to step up, and let's step out, and let's change this system for the better.
Thank you so much, Lee, for sharing those thoughts. I do want to give space for Q&A, but I want to give our comms fellows just a quick opportunity to share any advice they have for our members and organizers for, you know, if they want to work on a future campaign. So if any of you have any last words to drop before we go to Q&A, feel free to take the stage.
Jumping right in. Scared y'all, did you? You still woke? Okay, stay woke. That's the main thing. Stay woke. That's the main thing. The fight is not over. It's just beginning. The only thing that I can tell you is there is a place for every single person. Whatever it is that you do, I'm just echoing what Lee said. If you clean bathrooms better than anybody you know, oh, I'm going to be in love with you, and I'm going to be so grateful for that clean bathroom when I need to go to the bathroom after a long, hard day of fighting. It doesn't matter if you stack papers better than the best person ever. If you stack these papers and you put them on that table just right, so when people come in, they be like, oh, then be the best paper stacker ever. Whatever you bring, just bring it to the cause. And you are with a phenomenal org, not a good or a great org, but a phenomenal org, org of royalty. Bring it. Whatever you have, bring it, because we need everyone. Every single person is an intricate piece of the puzzle. The puzzle needs every piece to be complete. So let us not miss your part. Check.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo Lee. It's just, you know, you have a heart for it, you have a passion for it. Like you got definitely one thing you gotta have is some time on your hands though. And that's one thing I don't have a lot of, but let me tell you, because my heart is in this and because I just believe in it. And like I said, I want to stand in the against the injustices that are done against us, our folks, more than anything. I was cutting corners, man, and doing work late at night so that I could make some of these calm meetings and just making up time. So you got time, you got heart, you got dedication. And like Miss Betty said, man, you can make them little corners on the toilet paper roll go like this, boy, you are on, you know, like everybody has their own skill. And I think that's what it is. You know, everybody brings something to the table, and you bring that best version of yourself and that skill that you got down to a point, then, you know, that's how we all come together and make each other shine and do the best work we can together. That's what community's about. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikki, and to everybody who was on the panel for sharing. It looks like a lot of people really enjoyed hearing from you all. So I am going to open it up now for Q&A. I know Johnny had been wanting to make a comment. So Johnny, I'll go to you first. If you wanted to unmute yourself, if you had a question for our panel.
Not really a question, but kind of a comment. Thank you, first of all, for everybody who voted. You gave me and my coworker the right to vote. So appreciated. One thing is in 2010, I was given a 15-year denial at the Board of Prison Hearings. And I know Nikki is familiar with the board, and the other people are familiar with the board. And because of the voting, I was given another opportunity, and I was released in 2018. Before I was released, there used to be this lady and her husband who would walk around the visiting room in Soledad State Prison and ask people to sign things. And they would go to every table, see everybody there, and they'd be like, would you sign this? And I'd be like, yeah, for sure. And I started thinking about her character and the love she had for people. And I don't know if it was her original idea, but her work. And I look at it, coming out of Walmart, and somebody asking, have you registered to vote? And I'm like, I can't. And at first I was embarrassed, like, why shouldn't I tell them? And I looked at it and I was like, man, this is an opportunity to share something. And the reason I can't vote is I'm on parole. And they're like, are you serious? And they're like, I didn't know that was possible. So I remember Taina's work. The person you obviously know was Taina that I was talking about, would go table to table, spend her time that she was supposed to be with her husband, with other people, getting people to vote and sign and share. And I remember sitting on the yard with Rich and 50 other guys and talking about, like, look, if each person tells 2 people, that's 100 people. And I was like, man, I use that same philosophy when I was a street pharmacist. And now if I could use it in a positive way, that would be even more amazing. I don't know about the rest of you guys. 2 things first, like Nikki, I appreciate the work that you do. Me and a partner of mine got out of prison, and within a month we were working as alcohol and drug counselors to, deal with addiction and mental health. But I couldn't have done it alone. Like, I had to see people like Taina and other people who come in and believe in people and give people a second chance. And kind of like Nikki was saying, like, I know my purpose in life now, and it's to serve other people. And I know the people that have hurt and are continuing to hurt because of the actions that I've taken. But I don't know about you guys, but I think we should vote Taina for governor. Just an idea. You may have heard it here first, but thank you, Taina, personally, for the work that you do. And I know we all have bad days, but when you do have a bad day, remember the people who love you and the lives that you've changed and impacted. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for that. I think that touched a lot of our hearts, and welcome home. And so glad that you and your coworker are now able to vote. That means everything to us. So thank you so much for sharing, and congratulations to both of you for being able to vote again now. Yay, congratulations. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you all so much for sharing. For the sake of time, we're gonna go ahead and move to the close of our agenda just to respect everybody's time. Just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge our member of the month. Every month at our member meeting, we announce somebody that we wanna highlight who's a member of Initiate Justice and for their work and what they have contributed to this movement. So this month we would like to honor Zakia, who is an outside organizer, has volunteered her time dedicated to the Prop 17 campaign, really been a key part of this entire campaign. So Zakia, we want to honor you this month as our member of the month, and so fortunate to have you with us to be part of this win.
Thank you guys so much. Like, I feel like I'm on the Emmys, and it's like I had no idea you guys were gonna call my name. Like, thank you so much. Like, Initiate Justice means so much to me, and you know, I've had conversations with Taina, you know, personally, and just, you know, I'm always gonna be here for you guys, and you know what you guys are doing is so appreciated. Yeah, Ryan Oakland, stand up. But you know, I'm just so excited, like I said earlier, about the power that is in this space and in this community, and just to see what we're just getting started to do. And so yes, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Zakia, for the work that you do for us and for the movement. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Taina, who's just going to give some closing remarks and some exciting announcements for us to close out our member meeting. So take it away, Taina.
First of all, I just want to say how moved and overwhelmed I am. I'm just so happy, like, looking at y'all. I look at y'all and I know that we can do anything. And I know that we're going to abolish prisons, and I know that we're going to win. And I'm just listening to, you know, the different ways that you all had an impact on this campaign, whether it was a legislative visit or a letter or donating or texting your friends and family and getting them to vote. This victory belongs to all of us. And I'm so grateful for you all. And I know that this is just the beginning. And yeah, Johnny, you made me cry. Like, Initiate Justice and Prop 17 was something that came from inside prison. The first time we wrote down the words "free the vote" was like on a little, you know, with them little pencils they give you in the visiting room on a piece of paper. We were just like, what should be the campaign slogan? And you know, we have the power. We absolutely do. And like Leah and Zakia were saying, and Ms. Betty was saying earlier, like, you all have a gift. You all have something that only you can do. And you know, you're all here for a reason. You all have a chosen purpose. You all have a destiny. And you haven't been through anything that didn't give you the tools that you need to be successful and to create change for others. So I just feel so good. I know that we're gonna win because of y'all, and I'm just so humbled. And yeah, you know, like I said, and like Johnny brought up, like, we was hustling in the prison visiting room for Prop 57 signatures. Like, there's nothing that can stop us. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. John seen me wilding out in the visiting room too. In a different one. But I just want to, all that being said, I could talk for hours, but I'm not going to do that because it's already 8:30. But what I do want to do is I want to announce that we are welcoming a new person to our staff. She will be joining us in a couple of weeks as our new inside membership coordinator. So congratulations to Crystal Cardenas.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Ooh, okay, I don't remember. Daisy, was I supposed to say something else? I'm thrown off now.
No, just thank you everybody for joining us. And, just wanted to thank you all for your help, whether it was, tweeting, sharing a post, spreading the word about Prop 17. You are part of this win. So appreciative of you being with us in space tonight, celebrating with our team. And just we're going to be closed again, a reminder, next week. So we might be inactive on social media for the next week as we recharge our batteries. And then we have a staff retreat where we'll be planning our strategic plan for the upcoming year. But we hope to see you all at our December 2nd meeting, where we will be sharing with you all our updates for our plans for 2021, how we're going to, abolish prisons and free our people and bring them home. And thank you all so much for joining us. So appreciate you being here. If I was a DJ and had music, I'd be playing music right now, but I don't. So this is the exit music. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everybody. And if you're new, stick around. We have a new member orientation that we go over, who we are and how to become a member. So if you are new, stick around. Otherwise, thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you next month, December 2nd.
Hi, y'all. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Good night to you all. Be blessed.
All right, so the question is, how many folks are new and how many folks just forgot to sign off?
I see a lot of names that I...
Okay.
Hi, my name is
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, hi. Hello.
My first time. Just wanted to say hi.
Yes, welcome. Hi. So something that we do quickly at the end of each member meeting is, for folks who are new, we just go over, who Initiate Justice is, what we do, why we do what we do, and just talk a little bit about what it means to be a member. So just for background, I co-founded Initiate Justice with my incarcerated loved one about 4 years ago now, in late 2016, with the intention of activating the political power of people directly impacted by incarceration. So what Initiate Justice does is we fight to abolish prisons, bring people home from prison, make communities safer by training currently incarcerated people, formerly incarcerated people, and people with incarcerated loved ones on how to pass those laws. So we do that a few different ways. We have an inside organizing strategy and an outside organizing strategy. And pretty much the two strategies are mirrors of each other. So on the inside, what that looks like is we have members and organizers. And on the outside, we also have members and organizers. So inside, you are considered an Initiate Justice member if you sign up to receive our quarterly newsletter. So our newsletters have policy updates and action items that folks can take from prison, which can include helping us to recruit new members or sending in legislative letters of support, filling out surveys to help influence the bills that we work on and things like that. Initiate Justice currently has just over 31,000 or maybe close to 32,000 currently incarcerated members. So about 1 in 3 incarcerated people in California is an Initiate Justice member. So we have a lot of power. We've built a lot of power inside. And in addition to our membership, we have our inside organizers, who are people who are trained by Lee and the people who join our inside organizing committee. And they're trained on how to be an effective community organizer from inside prison. So they learn, the principles of community organizing, how to organize safely and effectively from inside the prisons, because we definitely don't want anybody to, risk their safety or their freedom inside. They learn about the legislative process, how a bill becomes a law. And they also learn how to advocate for their rights. And inside organizers are the leaders of the work. They're the ones who are recruiting new members and carrying out trainings for folks inside. And we have about 140 inside organizers now across all of California's 35 state prisons. And they work very closely with Lee and the inside organizing committee. So that's how we build power inside. On the outside, it's pretty much the same thing. We have outside organizers who go through a 12-week organizing and advocacy training program where they learn the same things, you know, how to be a community organizer, how the legislative process works, and how to fight for your rights. So far, we have graduated 5 cohorts of the Institute of Impacted Leaders, 2 in Los Angeles, 1 in Oakland, 1 in the Inland Empire, and 1 in Sacramento. And next year, we are planning on graduating 8 cohorts in different regions. So if you're interested in joining the Institute of Impacted Leaders, the applications will be going out in February, probably. And then when you graduate, you become an outside organizer. So there's lots of our outside organizers who are here represented, Daisy, Zykia, John, who else, like Dora, Maria Moore, like lots of the folks who are on the call are outside organizers. They went through the Institute. So, Lee went through the Institute too. And Crystal, who we just hired, also went through the Institute. So if you are interested, keep an eye out on our social media for the application in February. And then our outside members are you all. So members can be anybody. You can be directly impacted or not. You can be an ally. All that we ask is that you're committed to the fight to end mass incarceration and that you show up to the meetings. So we have our member meetings at this time, the first Wednesday of every month, so 6:30 to 8:30 Wednesday evenings. And we ask that in order for you to become a member, you attend at least 3 out of 4 consecutive meetings. And we ask that you join at least 1 committee and attend those committee meetings. So the different committees that we have are advocacy with Greg and Sarah. We have inside membership with, right now it's with Antoinette and Daisy, but eventually it'll probably be with Crystal. And we have, what is it? Healing with Indigo and Rasheeda. And we have inside organizing with Lee. And it's likely that we'll be developing an outside membership committee as well in the next year. So yeah, there's plenty of ways to get involved. Like Daisy said, when we have our member meeting next month, we're going to be coming out of our strategic planning retreat. So we'll be happy to share all of our ambitious plans for 2021. Because I think, you know, like everybody alluded to tonight, we're not done. Prop 17 was an exciting victory for us, but there's still so much work to do. And we know that we're going to continue to win by building the leadership of directly impacted people, because we're already the experts of our own experiences and stories. And IJ just works to support people and also being experts in how to change policy. Daisy, am I missing anything?
No, but somebody asked in the chat, and I just wanted to share out with everybody, how do we find out about, keep up with Initiate Justice if you don't have social media? So you can sign up for our email list on our website. If you haven't done so already, we send out regular updates, events, action alerts. So anything that we want for our members to know that we share out on social media, we also do it through our email list. So be sure to do it through there. And that's the one way that you can still stay connected without having to follow social media if you don't have that on your end. So I'm just sharing that for everybody. But otherwise, I don't think there's anything else to add. We are always looking to welcome in people who want to be supportive of the work that we're doing and help us, because we can't do this alone. So we definitely need help. And, having you all here tonight is exciting because it just shows that there's interest in becoming an Initiate Justice member, and we're hoping that we continue to see you in our committees with the work that they're doing in our upcoming monthly member meeting, and to really help us amplify that work that we're seeking to do in 2021. Because I think that's where, like Taina said, we have an ambitious vision, and we want to share that out with everybody, and do whatever we can to get us to where we want to be at.
Yeah, thank you, Daisy. So do folks have any questions about Initiate Justice overall or anything about the membership?
When can we attend like the next meeting?
Yeah, our next member meeting is Wednesday, December 2nd from 6:30 to 8:30. And they're the first Wednesday of every month. And then it depends. So when you sign in, you have the opportunity to sign up for one of the 4 committees that I mentioned. And if you sign up for those committees, they'll let you know when the next meetings are. I don't know when the meetings are off the top of my head. Do you know any of them?
They have them. So what we do is we actually send out an email post follow-up to tonight's meeting to everybody who signed in. So if you haven't had a chance to sign in yet, I'll drop the link in the chat one more time, but that ensures that you receive the post member meeting email where we're going to share out the dates of the committee meetings, how you can join those committees, and so forth. So be sure to sign in if you haven't done so already, and that way you'll be included in that email that we're going to send out with the details from tonight's event and how you can plug in and get and stay involved with our work.
Okay, thank you.
And just off the top of my head, I think Lee said that the next inside organizing committee is the 20th, so 2 weeks from this Friday. And then the next advocacy committee is the 24th, which I believe is a Wednesday.
Great, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
I do have a question. So just to be sure, let me turn my camera on. So just to be sure, you have to attend 3 meetings or 4 meetings consistently?
3 out of 4. So we
Okay.
understand like if you have to miss one or whatever, but we just want to see, that folks are like, for the most part, consistent.
And then we can join in a group like the advocacy after we go? Oh, okay.
Joining one of the committees is a prerequisite for being a member. So the 2 prerequisites are the attendance and joining at least one committee.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the year, members are going to get a little welcome package. So everybody who became a member this year is going to get a box of IJ swag.
And this, for folks, if this is your first time joining our meeting, this is one of 3. So come next month, that will be your second. Come in January, that will be your 3rd. And then if you come in February, you're officially announced as a member at the February member meeting, if we were to give an example of what that timeline would look like.
Thanks, Daisy. All right, great, y'all. Well, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evenings. You feel free to, email any of us. It's just our first names at Initiate Justice. That's all our email addresses, except Sarah, who's policy at Initiate Justice. So yeah, thank you all. Hope to see you again next month. Take care. Bye.